years. And I want to start by getting a few of the expected things out of the way. Empathy, self-direction, koi fish, and of course, stop. Now that I've fulfilled the requirement to mention these things every time I talk to you all, I just want to say how proud I am of you. On our first day, I asked each of you to remember to pause for a sec and take note of who you were sitting next to. And now here you are 4 years later, and when I've been asking you, do you remember who you were sitting next to? I can't believe how many of you remember that person. You are builders, creators, risk takers, but most of all, you're all so comfortable being yourself and not just accepting others with an open mind, but also looking out for them. You truly care about one another. Over the past few days, so many people have thanked me saying, well, this school couldn't be possible without you. And yes, that's sort of true. But this school also wouldn't be possible without all of you. So here's to you all and your quirky awesomeness. You are Renato flying over our school in an airplane. You are Hayden speaking at our grand opening using the ground as a podium, transferring 3 weeks later, coming back, and never leaving again. You're William DeBruce, graduating community college before he graduates high school. And of course, his dance partner for life, Ian Sullivan. You're Ella, always ready to question authority. Trisha Chen's art. Jack Luliani going from dog walker to skipper, joined by first mate Tanner. You are the Magoogan and Salazar comedy duo, with Dominique patiently listening while Adon and Robert crack each other up. You're Ashley Fan, always willing to hold the other leaders accountable when it seemed that they were making Julia do all the work. You're Liz Gozum, leading the Women in STEM cheer in Miss Sigmund's class. You're Fern, going from president of the botany club to a cardboard cutout who enforces the ping pong rules. Maxine, making sure that we remove the Rollins Road cat as humanely as possible. The pure joy Daniele shows when she dances. Aitana never giving up. And Alan's origami. You're also Ashley Fong, bringing her volleyball to school every day until we finally started a volleyball team. Bradley Kishiyama finding his place behind home plate. And Tyler Chan, our school's all-time leader in assists and an even bigger baller in the classroom. And of course, Jeffrey Bernstein, the real boss of the school. It's really trendy now to encourage young people to be themselves by saying, you do you. And it's clear that over the past 4 years, you did you. But not only did you do you, you supported each other in your search to find out who you are and what you believe. You support each other on your journey through high school. And now that you're about to launch out in separate directions, I hope that you take with you whatever that is inside of you that helped you create a place where a group of individuals can find their unique place in the world and still be bound together by a concern for each other. Whatever that is that you all have inside of you that made this possible, please do not ever lose it. And please do it again wherever you go. That is what the world needs most from you. We will miss you so much. I can't even express it. And congratulations. I would now like to introduce our next speaker, Colleen Cassity, the Executive Director of the Oracle Education Foundation.
Good morning, class of 2018. I am so proud of you and absolutely bursting with emotion on this really special day of yours, which is why it was kind of surprising that I found myself a little bit flummoxed about what to say to you. And the only words that kept asserting themselves didn't belong to me. They belonged to Walt Whitman from a book of poems called Leaves of Grass. And the words are, pioneers, oh pioneers, daring, venturing the unknown ways. That's you. That's who you are. The pioneers who took a chance on a school that barely existed and then made it into a reality culturally and physically. Pioneers who embrace the idea of actively designing the world, who create from empathy and who create from scratch, and who also build on the accomplishments of others to create something even better, something unimagined before. But what I want to remind you of today is that the single most important prototype on which you will ever iterate is yourselves. Another poetic soul named Sir Thomas Hawke said that grace is the ability to accept change, be open and supple, the brittle break. Habit, routine, too much consistency numb our minds and pave the path for us to sleepwalk through our lives. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes. Everything passes. However, do not move too much. An apple tree too often transplanted doesn't bear fruit. This may seem like contradictory advice to both accept the inevitability of change and attempt to remain constant. But to live well, sometimes you need to hold two seemingly opposing truths, one in each hand, and carry them both comfortably. One truth is that there is a you who is unchanging. There's a consciousness that has been yours and yours alone from the moment that you came into being. No one else has ever looked out through your eyes but you. And you need to hold on tight to the truth and uniqueness of that consciousness. The seemingly opposing truth is that if you're wise, you will iterate on who you are many, many times. You will become better, kinder. You'll stay supple and adaptable to life, and you'll welcome both the beauty of it and the pain. Yes, pain, dragons, is an inevitable part of life, and it's your friend. A traveling professor who has things to teach you. He will make you brave and wise and compassionate. And when you've learned the lessons, he'll move on, so will you, and you will rise. We rise from pain. I know you will actively design your life and yourself. And you will need to work with the resources available in the place where you find yourself. In the 21st century, we have a lot of choice about where we go, physically and metaphorically. I'll tell you where I like to think of you. On the unexplored, uncharted part of the map on which the cartographers of old would write, "Here be dragons." You bet there are. Which brings me to my final poet of the day, the immortal Dr. Seuss, who wrote, "Oh, the places you will go. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who'll decide where to go, except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. Bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you, but will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. You'll move mountains. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Go forth, pioneers, but please stay in touch. Next, it is my great pleasure to introduce Oracle CEO and the chair of the board of the Oracle Education Foundation, Safra Catz.
So when I came upon this truly magnificent setting, I thought, how miraculous it is that we are in fact here. I think about the courage of the parents and the brilliance of Ken and the wonder of these students who we both worked with, both in designing the school and who gave my employees the opportunity to work with them at Intercession. How amazing it is that this level of courage created this, because this follows something I learned a long time ago about really my mentor, Larry Ellison, who originally, nearly 20 years ago, said, I want you to build a school at Oracle where students learn to think. And what I've learned about him all these years, and what really distinguishes great entrepreneurs and leaders and people, is the courage that they show to see something that was not there and believe that it is possible. And if all of you students learn one thing from the partnership we've had between Oracle and D.Tech and our education foundation, you will learn that anything is possible. And just because no one's ever done it before doesn't mean it's a brilliant idea. So let me just take a minute to thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you parents. Thank you students. Thank you faculty. Thank you leadership of the school. Thank you Colleen and the Education Foundation. Thank you Ken for allowing us to make something happen that wasn't here before. And if you've not believed in miracles before, when you look at this school on this bay, right here in probably one of the most beautiful settings in the world, you've got to believe in miracles now. So thank you all for letting us be part of this. And me, I thank Larry Ellison for leading Oracle here to share this with all of you. Thank you.
Good morning, graduates and families. I'm Nicole Cerra, and I'm a co-founder of the school, but I've also been a teacher and an advisor and a huge fan of this founding class from the very start. And I count that among my most rewarding experiences. Before you all, there was never a design lab class, a fit, a camping trip, a D.Tech college acceptance, an intercession exhibition, a community meeting, an internship at Oracle, or a dragon mascot. Before you, we didn't have a waiting list to get in, or a reputation, or a culture rooted in kindness and acceptance. Because of you, others will come, and they will walk the path that you have carved. And they will know your contribution, even though they will never know you. There can never be another experience like these last 4 years we've had together. We've had moments of accomplishment and joy. And you and me and everyone in our community, we've had moments of frustration, and we've all made mistakes. But there is tremendous love here. And there is friendship, and there is respect. No matter your path forward, you will always have a history here, and you will always have a home here. High school is a brief moment that is at once both tender and explosive. It is fast and fleeting, and yet the memory of high school will endure in your lives in a way that other time periods will not. You may have made friendships here that go on for decades. You may have acquired some knowledge here that you'll refer to in your old age. You may have learned how to do things that you'll use in your career. But what I hope most of all is that you leave here knowing that you have something to offer this world and that it is your duty to bring your best. You're a part of our world and we need your help. We always talk to you guys about being creators, and you are. But remember also that it's not enough to create things. You have to create good things. And I'm not talking about good products with good market share and good customer reviews. I'm talking about making things that are good for humans. When you create, do not create recklessly. Take responsibility for what you put into the world. Be humble and seek critique. That will make you better. Work with a diverse group of people. Know what you stand for and don't let your values be compromised. This is how you make the world better. We can't afford creations that inadvertently contribute to the destruction of our planet, or mindlessly disregard another's culture, or erode the connections that bind us. You already created something wonderful and unique. You made D.Tech. So I know you're up to this challenge. If you've ever learned anything about who you are while you've been here, I ask you to nurture that now so that you may bring that forward into this world. Here's to the class of 2018. I have unshakable faith in all of you, and I will miss you terribly. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our student speakers, starting with Clayton Macrahan.
Good morning, everyone. So, it was August of 2015, my sophomore year, when I moved to the Bay Area. And prior to moving, I lived in North Carolina. It was a very emotional time for me to say goodbye to my friends, goodbye to my house, goodbye to my school, and goodbye to my old life. And when I got here, I felt very reluctant. I didn't completely understand the culture. I've never seen Teslas before. I didn't know what an ITSIT was, and I've never seen so much Warriors gear in my entire life. Come on, JR. But my first D.Tech experience came in the new student orientation at Rollins. I'll never forget this day because this was the moment I met one of my best friends. Over a couple of cold hot dogs, a conversation about League of Legends, and the shivering anxiety of being the new kids. Now, I didn't know how to feel about being with people that I've never met before. So I was very shy and I didn't talk much. But as the year went by, I noticed that D.Tech wasn't like any other school. And I'm not just talking about having classes with no walls or doors, but that the community really embraced each other. People genuinely cared for one another, and no matter where you came from or who you were accepted into the Dragon family. It took some time and a lot of collaborating and listening for me to make more friends, and now that I've done that, I've realized that I've met some of the most authentic, supportive, and just awesome people in my life. Not only the students, but I'm grateful for the teachers and the staff that helped make all of this happen. Thank you for the constant support and guidance you've given us throughout the years, and thank you for always taking the time to check in with us, and for staying up countless of nights to grade the hundreds of revisions we turn in before every deadline. If it weren't for you, then we wouldn't have this amazing school, and we wouldn't have the people that we could all look up to. And I would like to thank my parents for always being supportive, loving, and for always being there for me throughout my life. And I'm blessed to have met so many kind and funny people, as well as having friends who care about me so much. Through the dark times, I've seen light shine from so many people, and through times of crisis, I have perspectives. And it doesn't matter if you're the new kid or a freshman, you'll find your niche and meet all kinds of people. I truly believe that acceptance is the future key to success and is why I stayed at D.Tech. And after all, we are dragons, fearless and strong. So let's go out there and show the world exactly what we can do. So everyone, dragons on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Dragons! Thank you. So now our next speaker is the great Emily Hom.
Hi, good morning. Sorry, I've never spoken in front of this many people. Who were you in high school? Or who did you think you were going to be in high school? The jock? The artist? The computer geek? The outsider? You probably have at least one label in mind. And though high school isn't identical to its film counterparts in The Breakfast Club, Clueless, or Mean Girls, there is one element that persists: labels and boxes. The people you see about to graduate before you are those who have chosen not to be confined by such ubiquitous boxes. So why did I and my fellow classmates decide to enroll in a high school that was basically one big experiment? For me, it was knowing that I wanted anything but the traditional high school experience. I sought an environment that nurtures and supports creativity and individuality. Where else but D.Tech could I and every other brave member of this pioneering class go? And I'm not saying it was always perfect. Most schools didn't start in a hallway, use lockers, bookshelves, and whiteboards to create classrooms in a building without walls, split the senior class from the rest of the school, or welcome self-guided tours of curious onlookers. This founding class prevailed through every obstacle because we knew what we wanted to get out of our high school experience. We were determined to attend a school that set us up to be the best versions of ourselves. We forged a community of irreplaceable peers and teachers that persistently encouraged and supported us in constantly revising our definition and standards of what the best version of ourselves could be. We are students who are brilliant engineers as well as talented cake decorators, who founded our school robotics team and our school newspaper, who, like me, who would have never identified as a technology kind of girl, found herself working with angel investors and lawyers to launch a project. Yes, D.Tech helped us build the skills to become self-directed and gain admittance to some of the top universities in the world. But the greatest gift that D.Tech and my fellow graduates have given me is the world's finest box cutter: creative confidence. For me, this is knowing that I can contribute anything and something to any situation, even if I'm outside my comfort zone. This now inherent quality is something I regularly admire in my fellow dragons, such as when the class voted Science Fanatic embroiders LED lights into an @D.Tech quilt, and the Shy But Fly girl performs a song she wrote in front of the entire school. D.Tech was our first platform for these experiences, and the lesson and gift of creative confidence will forever differentiate us from the crowd. I imagine a world in which every high school student has the same opportunities that are offered to us at D.Tech, to craft their own tool to tear through any labels or boxes they wish to be free from. In this future, racism, sexism, and homophobia cannot prevail. D.Tech has opened my eyes to a future in which I am a leader, inventor, and entrepreneur. And each of us has become a combination of all three as we designed the path for generations to come. Leaders, entrepreneurs, and inventors don't let ourselves fit into boxes or match pre-printed labels. We come from all different backgrounds and, most importantly, embrace nonconformity. D.Tech helped give us the courage to venture outside the limitations imposed by ourselves and the world we live in. So, my sincerest thank you to the staff, shout out to Ms. Anderson, and our parents and family, love you Mom and Dad, for letting us, or forcing us, to take a chance on D.Tech. Thank you. Jose Obregon.
Good morning, staff members, families, distinguished guests, and my fellow classmates. My name is Jelsin Jose Obregon Mogollon, for those who don't know me, and yes, that is my full name. It's a Latino tradition. I'm proud to stand here today as an immigrant and being the first one in my family to graduate from high school. I want to start by saying congratulations to my fellow classmates. This is the moment that we have been waiting for years, and we have finally made it. I also want to say thank you to my teachers, my D.Tech advisors, and every staff members for dealing with me and my classmates over the last years. Believe it or not, when I first came to D.Tech, I was actually a shy boy. Now, people probably get annoyed because I talk too much, so thanks, D.Tech. After these great years at D.Tech, I made life friends. I also learned how to be a thinker, a designer, a problem solver, but most importantly, I learned how to work in a warehouse. Now, this is what I actually want to say to my class. Today marks the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. After today, we will venture out into the real world, whether that's college, a year off, or whatever your heart desires. No matter what our path is after today, let's not forget what we have learned here at D.Tech. We are the ones who are primed to make the world a better place. We are going into a world that has a lot of problems: climate change, terrorism, school shootings, and racism. Let's not let these problems bring us down. Let's go out and fix them. Let's not also forget that many people our age are making changes all over the world. In the Middle East, many teens are fighting to change a culture so women have the same rights as men. In Armenia and Nicaragua, students are taking the streets to protest and overthrow corrupted and undemocratic governments. And here, in our homeland, many students from Parkland, Florida, all over America, are fighting the system so we don't see another school shooting. What I want to say is that we are the generation of change, so be ready, adults. I want you guys to believe that, my class, to not give up and never stop fighting for what you believe. I want to remind us that this is what our generation is about. We might be young, dumb, and broke, but we are fighters and change makers. We are the future doctors, engineers, police officers, teachers, world leaders. And I know that our generation got this. The future is ours, and we have the power to change what it will be. After today, it's our time now. And I want you guys to be the change that you want to see. Thank you.